The first thing you need to know about the Spanish cession is that it began when Spain colonized Florida. Later on, Spain gave Great Britain Florida in order to gain control of Havana, Cuba. Then, during the Revolutionary War, Spain captured Pensacola from the British, being an indirect ally of the U.S. Once the war ended, Great Britain returned all of Florida to be under the Spanish control. Spain kept rejecting the efforts that Americans made to purchase Florida. By 1818, Spain was facing a troubling colonial situation, and they thought it made sense for them to give up Florida. Spain was tired because of the Peninsular War in Europe and needed to rebuild its credibility. They were unwilling to invest further in the territory, so they ceded it to the Americans. The United States acquired the land in 1819. There were two very important people who helped acquire Florida. The first was Luis de Onis, who was a career Spanish diplomat who served as Spanish envoy to the United States from 1809 to 1819. The second was John Quincy Adams, who was an American statesman who served as a diplomat, minister, ambassador to foreign nations, treaty negotiator, United States Senator, U.S. Representative from Massachusetts, and the sixth President of the United States from 1825 to 1829. Adams took charge of the negotiations with Spain to obtain the peninsula and define the border with Mexico. The importance of obtaining Florida at the time can't be overlooked as Spain lost power in the New World. Luis de Onis and John Adams were the two people who signed the Adams-Onis Treaty of 1819, also known as the Transcontinental Treaty, the Florida Purchase Treaty, or the Florida Treaty, which was a treaty between the U.S. and Spain that gave Florida to the U.S. and defined the border between U.S. and New Spain. Spain ceded all of East Florida to the U.S. and gave up its claims to West Florida. Spain also lost control of the territories southwest of the Louisiana Purchase, including a portion of the coast of the Gulf of Mexico. The current state that is included in the territory is Florida. Another important person was Andrew Jackson, who was general of an army that gained a lot of fame from the War of 1812 and obtaining Florida. Andrew Jackson seized the Spanish capital and the governor of Florida, announcing himself the new leader of the area until, quote, the transaction can be amicably adjusted by the two governments. With the Spanish and Native Americans defeated, Jackson returned triumphantly home to Nashville. One positive ramification of the territory's acquisition was that they gained more land to add to the country. Another good thing was that the people that lived in the area before were trying to destroy the villages on the coast, and it was hard for people to live there. Once the U.S. took over the territory, they rid the area of ransackers, and people were able to live safely in their homes. One problem was that some of President Monroe's cabinet wanted to have Andrew Jackson killed because he invaded Florida, but Adams realized that his success had given the U.S. a favorable diplomatic position. One other negative thing was that the U.S. had to give money to the Spanish government as a result of the Adams-Onis Treaty. The treaty established the boundary of U.S. territory and claims through the Rocky Mountains and west to the Pacific Ocean. In exchange for the U.S. paying residents' claims to the Spanish government up to a total of $5 million and relinquishing the U.S. claims on parts of Spanish Texas west of the Sabine River and other Spanish areas under the terms of the Louisiana Purchase. Since the U.S. got Florida, they were able to grow their country and make lots of new developments.